in the millions of benefits that you get from semen retention, there's 3 that really stood out to me the most. And I feel like these 3 benefits are enough for somebody who isn't on semen retention to convert to semen retention. And, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm not going to say that semen retention will save your life and do wonderful things. But these 3 reasons will definitely shift your life in a position where you could genuinely change the trajectory of your life, Like, it will genuinely, 50 years from now, your life will look different than if you didn't do them. Semen retention. And the first reason that I observed is your change in the view of yourself and the how you perceive emotions. So what a lot of people say is that once you start semen retention, you gain confidence, you gain, that's mainly what people just say. You gain confidence and like a better self-esteem, but that's sort of a very broad generalization and it doesn't really mean anything. And in my 3 months of semen retention, I definitely have noticed an increase in confidence, but it's more specific than just that. It's more specific than just an increase in confidence. Like, confidence is such a broad term, and the things that changed in my perception of myself have been so different than just the confidence aspect. And these, I feel like, would apply to most people. So firstly, your emotions are completely different. You know what I mean? Your emotional regulation and how you respond to certain situations is completely different. And I'm not saying that you'll suddenly be a genius at discernment and that you're suddenly going to master your emotions. But what I'm saying is that you will be able to stay within a stable range of emotions. Because usually when you're not on semen retention, you will just feel every single emotion. You know what I mean? And you'll react to every situation with an emotion. Like, somebody said something you didn't like, you'll feel angry or like sad, and you'll still feel those emotions while on semen retention, but you'll feel them from a sort of third person POV, where you're not actually sitting in those emotions, but you're rather observing them and understanding why you feel that way. So what do I mean by this? Now, I'm gonna go back to my example where somebody said something that hurt you and you feel sad. When you're not on semen retention, you will feel that emotion. You'll let the universe control you, basically. Once you're presented with that situation, you'll sit in that sadness and play the victim and be like, you'll just have that swinging of emotions, which is not good for you. That ruins your clarity, that ruins how you perceive everything, and it'll make your decisions a lot more irrational, because once you add emotion to a decision, don't even get me started on that. That's terrible. But once you're on semen retention, those emotional, I want to say, extremes, they won't be as they still will be pretty extreme. If, like, let's say your family member dies, obviously you'll still feel that emotion. You're not going to become this stoic, like, I don't want to say stoic, but you won't just become a rock, but you won't be so easily affected by those emotions. You'll still feel them, but you won't play into them. That's what I'm trying to say. And another thing that I feel like I noticed that goes under the confidence aspect, I didn't notice that, like, suddenly I think I'm that guy or whatever. Like, because I feel like in terms of how I perceive myself within other people is the same, if that's what you think of as confidence. But I feel like the main confidence that I gained is confidence with myself. So, like, how I see myself relative to other people remain the same. Now I feel like I stopped comparing myself as much to other people, but I feel like how I see myself positioned with other people will remain the same. But the confidence that you have with yourself is really what changes. And I feel like that's what a lot of people get wrong when they try to describe confidence on semen retention. You begin to hold value in yourself more. You begin to not put up things that you usually would. And, like, the confidence, you won't start thinking that, oh, you're like some sort of like Sigma male or whatever, But you'll start valuing yourself, and you'll start thinking, why am I connecting with these people who just leech off my energy, you know? And before semen retention, you're fine with that because you're used to giving out energy like left and right and center, you know what I mean? Because your seed is your most valuable source of energy, and you're just letting that shit go like that. And that's terrible for you. So confidence with yourself is the main thing that I noticed on semen retention, and I feel like you will notice too, because that's what a lot of people say, confidence. But I feel like confidence is the confidence that you have within you, and how grounded you are in yourself rather than how grounded you are with other people. And that's the most important form of confidence. So now the second reason why semen retention is a good thing to be on and why it benefited me. So this sort of plays into the first reason actually, but it's more about your perception with other people rather than just yourself. So what do I mean by this? I mean that in terms of seeing yourself with other people, your discernment will be much better. And as I said in the first part, you won't put up with shit as much. You'll start not necessarily cutting people off, but you'll start seeing people's true colors and change the way you enter relationships. Because before semen retention, I feel like a lot of people, they sort of act with the same with a lot of people, and they don't really check patterns until it's too late. And with semen retention, you start discerning people a lot more, and you start respecting yourself for who you truly are. Because when you're not on semen retention, you let lust get the best of you. And a lot of times, a lot of men especially will just put up with a lot of things that they shouldn't be putting up with just based on lust. And they will choose relationships just based off lust. And this means that you'll start having relationships where the person doesn't truly value you or even disrespects you in the worst case, just purely based off lust because you want something out of that person, and you'll probably be giving that person way more than you should just because of lust. And lust is a losing battle, because a lot of the time, once you think you're gaining that sex from that person, but actually what's happening is that you're giving both your energy and whatever else you need away to that person, you know what I mean? Because usually it's not nobody just, most women don't give up their body for no reason. They have ulterior motives, you know what I mean? And I mean, that sounds scary, but usually they just want something from you, you know what I mean? Whether that be your money, whether that be your time, whether that be your energy. And sometimes women don't even want anything, or so it seems, from you. They just want that sexual aspect. And if you're lustful, you'll think, oh, that's the best type of woman. But once you get on semen retention, you'll start discerning them. That's actually the worst type of woman. That's the Jezebel spirit. That's all she cares about, is taking your sexual energy, which is one of your most sacred kinds of energy. So you got to look out for that, because a woman who will take your money, at least that's something feasible. That's something she can benefit off of. But your sexual energy, that's a demon trying to take your soul away from you, basically. So you got to watch out for those types of women. And I feel like once you're on semen retention, you'll start to notice, because why would she just want to give up her body like that and not want anything in return? You know what I mean? You'll start noticing these patterns, and you'll start respecting yourself more, and start noticing that, you know what, maybe some of these women, they gotta go. And yeah, that's my second reason. It's just, you'll start being able to notice. And I mean, this sounds all negative, that you'll start noticing all the bad people and you'll start cutting people off. But I feel like for me also, I started noticing this presence around people. And a lot of the times people will talk about how semen retention, it turns you basically into a god, how you start seeing people's aura and whatever. And that's true to a certain degree. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm not going to say, oh yeah, you'll start seeing bubbles around people where you see if they're good or bad, but you'll start discerning people more. You'll start seeing who they truly are before you get too attached, because you'll start realizing that you're good on your own and that you're enough. I feel like that, or at least most people I talk to on semen retention, that's also one thing that they've noticed, is that loneliness isn't there anymore, and you'll start valuing you'll start allowing people who you'll just sense those people that actually want good for you. And I'm not just talking about their aura, because a lot of people just be like, oh, energy doesn't lie, oh, this, that. But energy is more than just like how you feel around that person. It's how they act around you. Because a lot of the spiritual stuff is good, sure, but it's also kind of misleading, because you'll start thinking, oh, when I get on semen retention, I'll start seeing people's aura. Bro, it's not like that. It's just, you'll start discerning you'll start noticing things more. That's basically all I'm trying to say. And another thing is, you won't feel as lonely anymore, because from my experience, when I wasn't on semen retention, I felt lonely. I felt like I wanted a girl, and it wasn't even lustful. Like, I wanted a girl just to have somebody to talk to. But it's still a disguise for lust. You know what I mean? You still think that you need that connection, even though you don't, which is off semen retention. And I thought not being on semen retention can't be that bad, because I'm not looking for lust in a relationship. But that's just like a disguise, you know what I mean? That's just like lust disguising itself, trying to deter you from semen retention. And once you get on semen retention, I feel like that's one big change. Because when I wasn't on semen retention, I would try to look like I could not go a week without not talking to a new girl, but without I just couldn't live without that connection to somebody of the opposite gender. And it didn't even have to be sexual. But now that I'm on semen retention, I'm sort of fine with being alone. And that's also, all of these reasons are sort of interconnected. This is also connected to my first reason, which is that you'll be more confident and be more confident in yourself, so you don't really need to depend on other people. But yeah, that's my second reason. And now on to my third reason. It's the energy boost, man. This reason is more like, it's not as spiritual or as I want to say, it's more physical, you know what I mean? It's not as mental, but it's just the energy and testosterone boost, man. You'll basically just start you'll start not having to sleep as much. Your sleep will get a lot better. Not in the beginning. Like, I'm not trying to deter you or anything, but in the beginning it's gonna kind of suck, because you're gonna have all that energy. You're just gonna be so hyper all the time, and you're gonna think it never ends. And you're during the day, you're gonna be like, oh, this is great, this is amazing. You're gonna be hitting PRs at the gym. You're gonna be doing everything you gotta do, because that energy has nowhere else to go, so it's gonna have to find a way to exit. So you're gonna be doing amazing at the gym. You're gonna be doing all your work. You're gonna have so much more spare time, because you're doing you're gonna be doing so much. But after that first week or two, you're gonna notice that energy sort of starts to stabilize, and you're still gonna have way higher energy, but you're gonna be able to that energy is gonna convert to other things, and it's gonna stabilize. So before semen retention, I'd have to sleep for 8 to 9 hours and still feel tired, still feel lethargic, still barely be able to get out of bed. But now I sleep 5-6 hours. I can't sleep anymore, because I'll just feel sluggish. And when I sleep 5 hours, my mental clarity is still the same. My energy is still the same. I haven't been doing poorly at the gym. If anything, I've been doing better since semen retention and sleeping less, because that energy is it just finds other ways to remove itself, you know what I mean? That's why a lot of people feel so energized as kids, because you're basically on semen retention 24/7, and obviously your hormones are different. You're still a kid, so you haven't hit puberty yet, but you think about it. When you're a kid till maybe you're 13, you're basically on semen retention 24/7. So that's why you feel so good. And that's also one thing I noticed. I feel more like a kid. I feel happier, and my energy levels are basically the same as when I was literally 6, which is great. And your testosterone, that will also improve. So basically, way more gains at the gym. You're gonna just be able to exit all your energy to something that's actually benefiting you rather than taking away from you. And yeah, man, it's just a lot of a lot of great stuff come out of this, and I feel like you don't really notice it until you actually stick to it. Because you can go 1 week and you'll think that, oh, this isn't shit, but that's when the real benefits happen. Once you like remove your expectations, once you think, oh, I'm just gonna do it because I know that it's good for me and I don't expect to have all these things. And that's what I'm saying, like, you will feel all these things, but if you have so many expectations to the point where you're just like getting too hyped about semen retention, you'll fail it. And that's what I'm saying. You can't have so many emotions tied to something and just be getting overhyped. Like, semen retention is a practice. It's like a way of life. It's not like a trend, because a lot of people turn semen retention into a trend, but that's not what it is. It's a way of life that will like improve your quality of life. And that's my final thoughts. So yeah, make sure to, if you're watching this video up until the end, I appreciate it, and let me know in the comments too, like, what changes did you notice? Because these are, like, obviously I noticed a lot more changes, but these are the 3 main ones that I noticed in my life. And feel free, like, if you felt any like opposing way, if you felt anything different, then please feel free to answer in the comments how, like, what other things you felt. But that's all for today, and next video is going to be next week. All right, goodbye.